What is wrong with you? A lot. Thank you for asking. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, my name is Court. Today we are discussing my summer TBR and anticipated summer releases. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I have a lot of anticipated summer releases. I have 6 summer releases here that I will be discussing. I will also be splitting this up into 3 categories for my summer TBR. It will be spring TBR rollover, brand new additions to the summer TBR, and then anticipated summer releases. Now, my spring TBR, we did a great job. I'm not sure how many off of the spring TBR I read, but we did have a fair amount on the TBR, and I did read quite a bit off of that TBR. It really allowed me to add those books to my book cart and pick from those and get in the season and read books that have been on my physical TBR for a really long time. So I'm really enjoying doing this method of making a seasonal TBR because it's helping me pick books off of my physical TBR that maybe I haven't gravitated towards because I've been waiting for the season. So this is reminding me to pick those books up, and I'm really enjoying that. I also love the feeling of checking them off at the end of the month in my book journal, so that's a plus too. I am a list girly. I will be checking things off when I do them. So let's get started. We have some spring TBR rollover. Not everything that I didn't read in spring is going to roll over to summer because some of them I just don't want to read. I don't see myself reading in the summer, and others I want to wait till next spring, or I just want to pick up when the time is right. So if you don't see those, that's why. Others, they maybe were just more summery books, or I just didn't get to them and I still really want to read them. These are the spring TBR rollover. This is what we're going to start with first. This TBR may be a little, what's the word? Ambitious. That's the word I was looking for. It might be a little ambitious because there is a lot of books on here. However, who am I? Who am I if not ambitious, you know? And the goal is not to read all of these. The goal is just to get some off of my physical TBR. If I read all of them, great, you know? Spring TBR rollover. Let's get started. The first is the Culpable series. I did not start this series. I am not sure if it's set in the summer. I'm not sure when it's set, but the cover with the palm trees is giving summer, so I wanted to wait till the summer. I also just didn't get to it. Starting new series when I've already started new series all throughout the spring really intimidated me. I didn't want to start another series on top of the already copious amounts of series that I'm reading and was starting in the spring. So I left this one for the summer. Hopefully I can get to it. I am excited to read this because I'm waiting to read these before I watch the movies. And I think the second movie recently came out and they're working on the third, or the third one just came out. I'm not sure. I've heard mixed things on this series. It is translated from Spanish. I bought this when I was in LA for my birthday 2 years ago, so I've had it on my TBR for quite some time, and I've got the other ones shortly thereafter, so I just need to read this. I have the whole series, I just need to start it. Another rollover is Second Bloom. This is an indie published book by Eve Matthews. Now, the reason that I didn't read this in the spring is because on the top it says a simmering summer romance set in small town Georgia. I was hoping to read this soon because I love supporting indie authors, so I want to read this. However, summer is the perfect time to read this because it is a summer romance. So mark my words, this will get read this summer. Another rollover is The Wrong Heart. This is the only Jennifer Hartman book like this. I don't know if they're all connected, but these few books are all connected and have similar looking covers like this. I do not know if this is connected, and they're not connected like you have to read them in a specific order. They're connected as like they're set in the same universe. I don't know if this is also set in that universe, but this is the only one I haven't read with a cover that looks like this, so I really want to read this because I love all of those books by Jennifer Hartman, like 4.5 to 5-star rating. Love those books, so I'm really excited to get to this one, so I just need to read it. Nothing about it really screams summer, I just really want to read it. And finally, we have The Silent Waters. This is another rollover. Not sure what this is entirely about. I've never read a Brittany Cherry book. The cover, I had this on my spring TBR because the pastels were giving spring, but we're going to roll it over into summer because I am obsessed with this cover, and I'm really intrigued. Elle Kennedy has a blurb on it. It says that it's a haunting love story, so when I'm in the mood for something like that, I think this will be perfect. Finally, our last thing in the rollover for spring is continuing a series that I was working on in the spring. I did start and finish Flawless. Round of applause. Thank you so much. I finally finished that book. So we'll be continuing the Chestnut Spring series in the summer. I needed to get through Flawless. I DNF'd for that book twice before and finally got through it. No, I did not enjoy it still, but I know for a fact that I will like one of these books in this series because I like the Rose Hill series. I like Elsie Silver's writing. I think it was just those characters. So maybe with a fresh set of characters, I will like the rest of the series, or at least one of the books in this series. Everyone is a big fan of Heartless in this series, so I'm excited to continue with this one. I've been told I will like Powerless or Reckless. Now we're moving into part 2 of this summer TBR, and that is all the new additions to my summer TBR that were not previously on my spring TBR. I've got a big stack here. Like I said, it is very ambitious of me. Starting strong with Becoming Calder. I did start this and I read the first chapter of it a long time ago. I've got some tabs in here ready to go when I am ready to read this. I'm gonna have to reread that first chapter. Becoming Calder. My grandma read this book and absolutely loved it and has been wanting me to read it ever since. I also am a big fan of Mia Sheridan anyway, so I really want to read this. Nothing really screams summer about it, but I think it's finally time to read this. I also have the second one called Finding Eden, so I would really love to knock off a duet that I do own and get 2 books off of my physical TBR this summer. The next one we have is The Roughest Draft. This one, it just looks like summer. The whole cover looks so cute. This is by Emily Wibberley and Austin Siegman Broca. This says it's a romance for the books, and I think they're both writers or they're co-writing a book. Did I put this on my spring TBR? I feel like I've read this. Or was I going to put this on a monthly TBR? It's not on my spring TBR, so it must have went almost on a monthly TBR or was in the previous time talked about. I forget, but I remember reading the back of this and they co-write books and it's literally like the authors of this book, but they're on a retreat in Florida or they live in Florida. I don't know. They're in Florida together writing this book apparently and they're co-writers. It sounds really cute. The cover is giving summer. It's going on the TBR. Another one that screams summer is My Killer Vacation by Tessa Bailey. This one's short and sweet. I think I can finish it and sit by the pool and read it in one day. I love Tessa Bailey. Sue me. Her books are good palate cleansers sometimes, and when I am in the mood for one, this will be perfect. It is supposed to be a relaxing vacation in Cape Cod. She's just here to do a job, not babysit an amateur sleuth. Ooh, this sounds so good. I also love the cover of this one. It just is so cute. It screams summer, so on the TBR you go. Next, we have What Is Wrong With You? A lot. Thank you for asking. This one sounds so interesting. It is, let me read you the blurb because it sounds super intriguing. They're also set on like an island of some sort, so that's what gave me the summer vibes, but I'm really excited to read this one. It is a tech billionaire, a flight attendant he's marrying, a TV superhero who used to be married to that very same flight attendant, a Manhattan book editor and the sensitivity associate who got him fired, a 23-year-old wild child prodigy who's perhaps the savior of American literature, a vengeful Arkansas sheriff who sells a vitamin-enriched 10 pounds off today demulsifier, a Wall Street bro who raps on TikTok, 2 dentists possibly stalking each other. What do these people have in common? Invited or not, they're all headed to the most anticipated destination wedding ever, on the billionaire's private island to seek romance, to cause mayhem, and to figure out everyone else's futures, maybe even their own. Find out what happens in Paul Rudnick's heartfelt new novel, which dares to pose the question, essential to anyone who's ever been in love, what is wrong with you? Doesn't that sound so good? Yeah, I was sold when I read that. That's why it's going on the TBR. Next, we have such a beautiful, stunning cover. We have Love and Other Tropes by Kayla McGrath. This is, I believe it says summer. Yes. Emmett and Ileana began seeing each other and they agree that it is just for the summer. Sure. This sounds so cute. She is a ballerina and he is, what is he? I don't know. I don't know what he is, but I'm excited to find out. The cover is stunning. I absolutely love this. I can't wait to read it. Sounds super cute. The cover, again, the cover is what has me sold. And just for the summer romance, yeah, I'm there. I'm sad. Going on the TBR. Continuing along, we do have the second book, In the Summer I Turned Pretty. I didn't love the first one, but I have to see it through so I can watch the show. I have to see it through. It's Not Summer Without You, and the third one, We'll Always Have Summer, I believe it's called. I'm just so good at what I do. We'll Always Have Summer is going on the TBR so that I will read them so I can watch the show. For some reason, To All the Boys I Loved Before, that trilogy had me in a chokehold when I was a child. Maybe this one would too if I was still a child, but there's something about these books specifically that I didn't like. I read the first one last summer, didn't love it. Hopefully it gets better as the books progress, but I heard the show is way better, honestly. So we'll see. These are going on the TBR so that I can watch the show. It's literally a summary show. I don't know what more information you need. Next, we have Dark Corners by Megan Golden. The cover screams summer because of the palm trees. Literally, if the book had a palm tree on it, I pulled it. Okay? Sue me. I don't know what this is about. Oh. They're about to be released from prison for breaking and entering, though investigators have long suspected him in the murders of 6 women. Oh. Anyways, I love a good summer thriller. Summer is when I dive into thrillers, especially like these. I don't know why. End of summer, early fall, I love reading thrillers. And this one caught my eye. So we'll be picking up. It sounds rather intriguing. I'd love to know and love to find out what happens. And hopefully this one stumps me. In that same light, this is also a thriller. We have The Safari by Jacqueline Goldis. This is about Odelia Babel, CEO of a sustainable fashion empire, is about to marry for the second time to a man 25 years her junior. Interesting. I'm assuming they go on a safari. Not everyone is thrilled for the happy couple. Oh. Hours before the wedding, Odelia is found murdered. Oh, they don't even go on their safari? Oh, all expenses paid safari at Leopard Sands in South Africa. She invites all of her adult children to this place. Okay. I'm following. Anyways, I just really wanted to read this. It sounded really good, and that's really it. Like I said, for some reason, I move away from fantasy in the summer months and go into like thrillers, like early summer fantasy, midsummer it's kind of everything jumbled, more romance, and then at the end of summer it's like romances starting to get witchy, dark academia, thrillers. So that's going on the TBR. I guess this is an anticipated release, so we'll have to wait for that. So I have 7, not 6. My bad. Another thriller, Dead to Rights by Jasmine Webb. I got this advanced copy and I read half of it and I don't know why I didn't continue it. I think life just got in the way. I started my new job right around when I was reading this and didn't continue it, but it was so good. It was about this, she moved to this small town on an island and took over her grandma's like bookstore, and then people just started to show up dead. It sounded so good. And it was like a mystery novel set on an island. That's all I need to know. It was really good when I was reading it. I got maybe 30% through, 30% to halfway through this. It was so good when I was reading it, and I didn't have a clue who was doing it. So I really want to reread the first part of this and continue. And I believe this is the first in a interconnected series, perhaps. We'll be continuing that one. Next we have Betty by Tiffany McDaniel. Everybody I see talk about this book raves about this book. And this doesn't really have anything to do with summer, but I have been dying to read this book. It is about Betty Carpenter, who is born in a bathtub to her white mother and Cherokee father in Breathitt, Ohio, which is down in South Appalachia, Ohio. So I'm from Ohio, if you don't know, but I am not from the Appalachian area of Ohio. I don't know what it's like over there. I definitely don't know what it's like in 1954, but she grows up very poor and she goes through so much. So I really want to read this. It sounds like such a good literary fiction novel. So I'm really excited to pick this up, and everybody that I know raves about this book. The next one is kind of an obvious one. This is the only Ellen Hildebrand book I own, and I've also never read an Ellen Hildebrand book, but we have the 5-Star Weekend by Ellen Hildebrand. I want to get in my Ellen Hildebrand era. Nantucket era? I'm coming for you. We will be reading. This says 5 friends, 5 secrets, and a vacation that will change everything. Emily Henry has a blurb on the front. I will be reading it. These are all of her books are mostly summary type books. I really don't need to explain myself any further. Next, we have Beautiful Villain by Rebecca Kinney. She writes retellings, and I want to read this and a few others. One coming out in July. This is the first one. This is a Great Gatsby retelling. This is called Beautiful Villain. She also has a picture of Dorian Gray retelling and a Wuthering Heights retelling, which I do own, but the Dorian Gray retelling is out now. I think it came out in January. I'll put pictures right here of both. One's called Charming Devil, and then Ruthless Devotion comes out in July, and that is the Wuthering Heights retelling. I'm sad. I love reading retellings, so I really want to take my hand at reading Rebecca Kinney's retelling. So these are going on the TBR as well. Another series going on the TBR that just screams summer is I want to say it's the Kane Brothers. Yes, the Kane Brothers series by Megan Quinn. This one and these other two books are going on my TBR. These are just some cutie romance books that I think scream summer. So I'm putting all three on my summer TBR. So Not Meant to Be is the second one, and A Long Time Coming is the third one. I've only read Megan Quinn's Christmas books, so I'm excited to read something that is outside of the Christmas time and see if I like them. We have Rewind It Back because why not? Why wouldn't we have Rewind It Back? This is such an anticipated release for me. It came out last month, the end of last month. I have been waiting for the perfect time to read this, and this summer is just gonna be so good because this book is out. I cannot wait to dive into this book. I have been waiting for Rio's book for forever. If you don't know what this is the last book in the Windy City series. The rest of the books are right here. In my opinion, the entire series is so good. This one has high hopes of being my favorite in the series. I cannot wait. This is the best found family I have read, hands down. I cannot wait to read it. All of them are about Chicago sports teams. The male characters are on Chicago sports teams, whether it be hockey, which is this one, and Mile High, the first one, basketball, which is The Right Move, or baseball, which is Caught Up and Play Along. Go read these if you haven't. They are incredible. And finally, the last one I have on my summer TBR that is not a new release, Firefly Lane by Kristen Hanna. I have only read The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna, and it actually emotionally wrecked me. Firefly Lane is about these two best friends and them being friends throughout their entire lifetime. That is what I've been told. It starts in 1974 and I believe comes all the way to present day time when they meet their little kids, and it goes through them having their own children, growing up. I don't know if they grow apart, grow together, but it captures the true meaning of girlhood friendships, I've heard, and I cannot wait to read this. This book particularly just screamed spring or summer to me because of girlhood and just being happy, but I know it's also going to make me so sad. This is going on the TBR. I cannot wait. I also really want to watch the series because they did make this into a series. I don't know if it'll be as good as this, but I'm really excited to dive into this one and another Kristen Hanna book. And finally, we're going to go over the 7 new releases that I have for the summer. I have 3 here that are ARCs, or I got an advanced copy of, and then 4 that I have written down that come out later in July or August. So we will go over them really quickly. The first is The View from Lake Como. This comes out July 8th. I just got this in the mail recently and it sounds really good. This is dual set in Lake Como, New Jersey, and also Lake Como, Italy, because there's 2 apparently. I had to look it up. It also came with 2 postcards, one from Italy and one from New Jersey. That's how I knew that. But it's about this woman who is recently divorced. She moves into her parents' basement to heal. She's the overlooked daughter, and when they endure an unexpected loss, the shock unearths long-buried secrets that will force Jess to question her loyalty to those she trusted. Then she takes fate into her own hands and escapes to her ancestral home in Italy. As Jess uncovers the truth about her family history, it will change the course of her life and those she loved the most forever. In love and work and art and soul, Jess will need every tool she has mastered to reinvent herself. So this is kind of like a finding yourself type of book set both in New Jersey and in Italy. I have said it before, I am obsessed with Italy. any book that takes place in Italy, I am there, seated, and ready. I also particularly love Italy in the summer, so this one I will be reading. Sounds so good. It comes out July 8th. Then we have one that comes out July 29th. It is another thriller. It is You Belong Here by Megan Miranda. And I don't know if it's You Don't Belong Here because I don't know if you can see that. There is a don't in between you and belong that's kind of hidden. I think it's You Belong Here, but it's kind of cool that they hid that don't in there. So it sounds really good. The side just says You Belong Here. So I believe that is the real title of the book. This is a thriller by Megan Miranda. I don't think I've read any other of her books, but this one comes out July 29th. It says that Beckett Bowery never thought she'd return to Wyatt Valley, a picturesque college town in the Virginia mountains, steeped in tradition. Her roots there were strong. Beckett's parents taught at the college, and she never even imagined studying anywhere else until a tragedy her senior year ended with 2 local men dead and her roommate on the run, never to be seen again. For the last 2 decades, Beckett has done her best to keep her distance. Then her daughter Delilah suddenly applies to Wyatt College and earns a full scholarship, and Beckett can only hope that her lingering fears are unfounded. But deep down, she knows that Wyatt Valley has a long memory and that the past isn't the only dangerous thing in town. This sounds so good. I am so really excited to read this. I love a good mystery, especially when it's set on a university. Yeah, I'm there. The last one I have physically is called One Dark Night by Hannah Ritchell. I want to say that's how you say her last name. This comes out August 19th. This is a horror book, I think. It says, on Halloween, a group of teenage students meet in the woods near Sally in the Wood, a road steeped in local lore and rumored to be haunted by the ghost of a murdered girl. By the end of the night, one student will be dead. Rachel, the school guidance counselor, is trying to keep a handle on increasingly distant teenage daughter Ellie, while students and parents panic and mourn. Her ex-husband and Detective Ben, dealing with a personal crisis of his own, has concerns about his daughter's safety as he investigates the death. Meanwhile, Ellie is keeping secrets from both her parents, including one about where she was that night. Told from multiple perspectives and with Hannah Ritchell's distinct, atmospheric, and ever-twisting prose, One Dark Night is a white-knuckled and suspenseful thriller about urban legends, privilege, and how the past continues to haunt us. This sounds super, super good. Again, comes out August 19th. I love a good horror novel. Cannot wait to sit down and finally read this one. I've also never read anything by this author, so I will have to check out her other books. She also has written The Search Party, so maybe I will look that one up as well. This one sounds super, super good. I cannot wait to read it. Coming out July 22nd, we have another thriller. It is Not Quite Dead Yet by Holly Jackson. I read the Good Girls Guide to Murder series last year and absolutely ate it up. I loved it so, so much. So I will be hopefully reading this in July because I love Holly Jackson's writing. Her thrillers toe the line of young adult to adult that I absolutely love. Cannot wait for this one to come out. Also on July 22nd, Arcana Academy. Arcana Academy by Elsie Kova comes out. I know absolutely nothing about this book, but the cover, an academy, scream at me. If it's set in an academy and it has fantastical elements, fantasy elements, I'm there. Comes out July 22nd. I cannot wait to read this one. I'm really, really excited. Then coming out August 12th, we have Heartstrings by Ivy Fairbanks. This cover is so cute. That's really all I needed to know. I think it is a magical realism type book, if I'm not mistaken, and it's about music. Her other book, Morbidly Yours, I believe is also magical realism. That's where I'm getting this magical realism from. I could be wrong, don't take my word for it, but this cover is so cute, so I can't wait for this one to come out. And finally, on August 26th, Calabasas by R.F. Kuang comes out. I've never read an R.F. Kuang book, but I'm really excited for this. It's supposed to be dark academia-esque, set at this like tower university. I'm not sure. I've heard that it is dark academia related and also maybe fantasy a little bit. Not too sure. But the cover is cool and I'm really excited. And I've been meaning to pick up more R.F. Kuang books. I really want to read Babel and I really want to read the Poppy War trilogy. So I will be hopefully reading those, as well as Calabasas when it comes out August 26th. So those are all of the releases that I have for the summer. Not a lot, but enough. And hopefully I will be reading them when they come out. And hopefully these arcs before they come out so I can give you guys my opinions and my reviews. If you want to see me anywhere else on the internet, my socials are in the description below. Comment down below anything on your summer TBR or if I missed any summer new releases that are coming out that you're excited for. And I'll hopefully see you guys in my next video real soon. Bye!